Alrighty, welcome back. Today we are covering Shtola, the Knight's Blessed from the new Final Fantasy Commander set. Not launched until like middle of June, so still quite a while away. But this commander, I'm sure a lot of you saw it, went a bit of neuron activation. Really cool commander, great artwork. Really powerful, encouraging a control, maybe a life tax kind of playstyle. So she has 4 mana in Esper, where a 2/4 Cat Warlock with Vigilance, and at the beginning of each end step, if a player lost 4 more life this turn, you draw a card. Doesn't care if it's you or your opponent, as long as a player lost 4 more in that round. In a 4-player game, you go around the table, you could draw 4 cards. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell with mana value 3 or greater, your Shtola deals 2 damage to each opponent and you gain 2 life. Important note, she deals the damage. Anything that cares about saying whenever you deal damage to a player, you get this effect are very broken with her. So with her 2 abilities, if you're casting 2 non-creature spells with CMC 3 or greater, you're guaranteeing 4 damage to a player, so you get to draw a card with her. Huge card draw engine, multiplayer game loves it, strong draw, let's go into it. So Delnane's Streetwise Lookout works really well, makes them harder to block your commander, but if a creature you control with power 2 or less triggers, it triggers at additional time. Your commander loves it, to direct correlation. Your commander will trigger twice, doing 4 damage to each player, you gain 4 life, and you get that guaranteed draw. Then there is Blood Chief Ascension, which does everything we care about. When you've got the counters online, if a card goes to the opponent's grave from anywhere, they lose 2, we gain 2. Through mill, control, removal, you are just going to drain your opponent's dead. Aether Flux Reservoir can be its own win con. We have a lot, I mean a lot of life gain in this deck, so you can just pay 50 and one-shot someone hopefully. She deals the damage. I've probably gone a bit overboard with all these effects, but it's so much fun in a 3-player game or 4-player game with 3 opponents. You're going to love triggers. So with Curiosity and Ophidian Eye, whenever your enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. With Commander's effect, that is a lot of card draw, watch out. Then there's a Collar and the Staff of Hermes, giving our creature lifelink. Huge, meaning you can gain 6 life every time you trigger your Commander's ability. With the Staff though, if you have 30 more life, the creature equipped gets 5/5 and indestructible and prevents all damage to be dealt to it. Our commander becomes an absolute beat stick with that thing out there. Then we've got Steel of the Godhead and Helm of the Gas Lord, which give buffs depending on the colour. Our commander's all 3, so we're going to get all 3 buffs from the colours. So with the Godhead, white offers lifelink and a buff, blue offers unblockable and a buff. With the Gas Lord, the blue side offers whenever it deals damage to an opponent to draw a card. Again, similar effect with our commander, but also has with the black side, if it deals damage to an opponent, they discard a card. So your commander can now attack your opponent's hands. And with Sigil of Sleep, for 1 blue mana, if you're hitting your opponent with damage, you can bounce creatures back to the hands. That is mad powerful, you can unsummon the whole board eventually. And then, because I hate people and people hate me, Grafted Exoskeleton, giving her Infect. 5 activations with Infect, everyone dies. So we are in Esper, we like to control and dictate the speed of the game. Ghostly Prison and Propaganda make it very hard and costly for opponents to attack us. Then we've got Norn Annex, which is similar effect, our opponents have to pay life or white mana to attack us. But we can pay 4 life with Phyrexian mana to cast the card, which we lose 4 life a turn. We can then draw a card through our commander. It's just an extra option for card draw in a supporting piece. Combo does a similar thing with our commander. It makes our opponent lose 2 life and we gain 2 if they cast on creatures. Lotho punishes our opponent for casting second spell. We do lose life, but we get treasure tokens, which can ramp us ahead. Blind Obedience slows down our opponent's board state, and we can extort them for life. Smothering Tithe will punish our opponent every time they're drawing cards. We'll get a ton of treasure tokens and ramp further ahead. Grand Abolisher will prevent people from interacting on our turns, hopefully. Where Mind Crank and Psychic Corrosion will attack our opponent's library without much extra effort from us. With Mind Crank, the damage our commander is dealing through its ability will make people mill cards at the same time, and the draw from our commander will also feed into Psychic Corrosion. Now enter the removal. So if we can cast spells that cost 3 mana or more, we get to hopefully deal damage through our commander, and if we can guarantee life loss at 4 or more on a player turn, we're drawing cards. So removal has alternate costs to count, so Snuff Out is a 4 mana removal, but you can pay with life instead, so it will trigger our commander's both effects. Dismember, you can pay 4 life instead of the 2 Phyrexian mana. Again, you're losing 4 life, you do get to trigger your commander again. Baleful Mastery, same idea, it is a card with CMC 4, but you can pay a different cost. Then we've got Swords to Plowshare. Then we've got Stroke of Midnight, Generous Gift, Vindicate, and Anguish Unmaking, which are all 3 mana removal spells that can target anything a commander cares about them, triggering from being a non-creature spell 3 or 3 greater, doing 2 damage to everyone. Just good old value removal, hit any target we don't want to know about. Then we've got Imprison the Moon to lock away our opponent's commander. Rewind and Unwind are good counter spells because they untap our land base so we can keep casting more control. Undermine is a 3 mana counter spell, but also makes our opponent lose 3 life. So they're losing 5 life through our commander, guaranteeing card draw. Render Silence shuts people down. Disallow just got more options like triggered or activated abilities, and an offer you can't refuse, just really cheap counter. Then I've got Supreme Verdict and Farewell for our board wipes. Into supporting themes, Veto works great with our commander. Every time we are gaining life, target player loses that much life, so you're just guaranteeing your 2 life gain means another 2 damage into a player, which gets you to 4 damage or 4 life loss, guaranteeing the draw. Sanguine Bond, similar effect again. The Cleric, little bat, you'll pay the Offspring cost, making 2 copies, so whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 2 life, speeding up the game. Flood Caller is a cheap way to get flash for our entire board state, basically, but it is a creature, so it can die to removal. Snapcaster Mage, just a good chump blocker, and we can hopefully reuse a removal spell or a counter spell in our graveyard. Lightning Greaves and Mithril Coat here to protect our commander. We do really care about her a lot. Now, having multiple copies of our commander can be really fun. Vile Duplication and Helm the Host can make non-legendary copies of our commander. If we have 2 copies of her out, casting 1 non-creature spell guarantees 4 damage to each opponent, and we gain 4 life, which will trigger both our copies for double card draw, and it'll only get better with more and more copies of her. So it's a no-brainer, speeds up the clock. Extra Draw. Tandem Lookout gives our creature a similar effect to Curiosity, so if it's soul bonded with her, whenever she deals damage to an opponent, we draw a card. Sig has if someone's lost 3 more life this turn, draw a card. Staff of Corruption, you can tap, pay 4 life to draw a card. With our commander, that 4 life loss guarantees an extra draw at the end of the turn. Risky Shortcut, it's a CMC 3 spell, so our commander will deal 2 damage to everyone. We draw 2 cards, and then each player loses 2 life, which then, that's now 4 life for each player, so we are guaranteed another card draw. So for 3 mana, we're drawing 3 cards in black. Brainstorm, Preordain are just good efficient cantrips. Frantic Search is another CMC 3 or more spell for our commander, so we draw 2 cards, disc 2 cards, and untouch lands for more control. Demonic Tutor and Profane Tutor are just cheap tutors for this deck. Profane Tutor is a slower one with Suspend, but I will probably get the Bloodchief Ascension every game with it, probably. Into Ramp. I am classing Grand Arbiter Augustin IV as Ramp because he makes 2/3 of our deck cheaper and he slows our opponent down. He's a hateful card, and he's definitely Ramp for a commander like this. Then onto Stormscape Familiar. He also makes our white and black spells cheaper to cast as well. Then I've got Soaring Arcade Signet, just default. Thought Vessel for all that draw we're doing. Relic of Legends, we can tap our commander a lot to add extra mana. Chronometer Lantern, just sort out a land base for us. I know it's a video about a cat commander, but my big boy had to come over and say hello. Hey buddy. Good boy. The only lands I'm going to mention that are tech. Command Beacon can help avoid power command attacks 1 time. Witch's Clinic can give our commander lifelink, which of course we do care about a lot with our ability. Rectower, no hand size, we draw a lot of cards. Mystic Sanctuary can get an instant sorcery back on top of our library, which is a lot of control we do care about. And the Hall of Heliod we do care about because we have a lot of enchantments that are important to the deck, like Bloodchief Ascension. And that is your shtola. She is a very cooked Esper control commander. Of course, artwork people do love. They do like Final Fantasy a lot. It's probably a good crossover as they go. I love her 2 effects. Super strong, really can battle everyone at the table quite effectively. Great commander all around. Kind of table up, try and fight me, set up your walls, just drain everyone dead and just control the game and win. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you to my patrons for your direct support. Please like and sub. We are getting to 5k subs soon. Yeah, like I said though, these Final Fantasy commanders are a long way away, 2 months, but we're getting her out there. We're brainstorming now. All right, thank you guys and have a good one. See you later.